Hello, welcome to Stacey G's Kitchen. Today I'm going to show you how to make the most gorgeous, chewy and gooey Kahlua caramels. First of all, find a baking tray which is approximately 35 by 25 centimetres and spray it with oil and then line it with baking parchment. Get yourself prepared for this. If you're prepared at the beginning, then everything's much easier at the end. Also get some baking parchment and cut it into squares. They do not have to be perfect, but cut it into squares. We'll be wrapping our caramels in them later. For caramels, you also need your sugar thermometer, so make sure the battery's in and it's ready to go. Get yourself a heavy based pan. Into this I put 250 grams of glucose syrup already. I've put it directly from my big tub. 250 grams of glucose syrup. On top of that, you'll use 500 grams of caster sugar. You can also use light brown sugar or golden caster sugar if you'd prefer. So that's popping in there, 500 grams. It's best you don't actually look at how much sugar you're putting into this because it's awful. And 500 grams of double cream. Pop that on top. On top of that, you're going to be putting your butter, 100 grams of cubed butter. You cube it just so that it melts quicker. Then turn on your hob to high and stir and bring it to a boil. So stir it gently and bring the whole lot to a lovely boil. These caramels are divine. They are soft, they are chewy, and they taste amazing, and they're worth the effort. As you can see, the butter is melting, the sugar's dissolving, and it's beginning to boil. Once your caramel reaches a nice rolling boil like this one, you want to take your temperature down to medium-high, and it'll probably now take another 15-20 minutes to reach 118, 119 degrees, which is where you want it to be. If you take the temperature too high, then you're going to end up with hard toffee. Now's a very good time to put on your favourite tune and do a bit of singing. Think about all the things you have to do that you haven't done for Christmas. All the presents you need to buy for the children. With a note saying, I love you, I meant it, now I know, fool I've been. As you can see, it's now bubbling nicely, it's beginning to get thicker, and it's now 108 degrees, so we now just have to take up another 10 degrees and we're there. Make sure that you stir it quite regularly now, you don't want it to catch on the bottom of the pan. At this point, it is beautifully thick, like a lovely silk. And it's ready, so we're taking it straight off the hob. When the caramel reaches 118, 119 degrees, you take it straight off of the heat and you just stir it a little bit. Then it's time to add half a teaspoon of salt and the liqueur of your choice. Half a teaspoon of salt, straight in. Now you have to decide what you want to put in it. A tablespoon of vanilla essence perhaps, or a couple of tablespoons of Kahlua, or any other liqueur you fancy. Bailey's works well, Frangelico, Amaretto, anything. So I'm going to pop 2 tablespoons of this, and this is actually my favourite one. So 2 tablespoons of Kahlua, stir it, and you'll see it bubble up. Bubbles up, bubbles up, bubbles up, and you stir it just until the bubbling stops. Then it's time to pour it in your pan. Beautiful. Time to put your gloves on. The sides of your pan are going to be very hot, so just be super careful. You're going to pour it straight into the pan. It all comes out really nice and easily. Delish. I always leave a tiny bit in the pan so that it's a very important part. It means I can taste it. So once it gets cold, I like to have a little taste of it from the pan. Don't miss that part out. Okay, now I'm just going to tilt the pan so it gets nice and smooth on the top. You can bash it down a couple of times on your work surface to get rid of any bubbles, if there are any. I don't have any. At this point, leave your pan at room temperature, uncovered for about an hour, and then if you want to, you can cover it up, but it needs to be out for about 8 hours and then it's ready to cut. Here's one I made yesterday. It's been at room temperature for over 8 hours, and now it's time to cut. Put a little bit of oil onto kitchen paper and brush your knife with it. This will just help it not stick to the caramel when you're trying to cut it. And now let's give it a go. Obviously you can choose what size you want your caramels to be. I like them to be quite big. You take it, cut it, take it off, and then cut them again, like that. So it's actually quite easy to cut these. Now they're like that, they are malleable as well, so you can just shape them if you want to a little bit. Okay. If you want them to be smaller, that's absolutely fine too, of course. But everybody likes a nice big caramel because then they feel if they only have one, it's okay. If it's really big, it wasn't their fault. 1, 2, 3, 4. And you carry on like that. If you like your caramels to be harder, pop them in the fridge and they do actually get hard, and then you can bring them out half an hour before you want to eat them. I'm actually going to cut these smaller, you know, these ones. These are great to give as a gift. Wrapped up in baking parchment, put them in a bag, and wrapped with a ribbon or something else. And there we have it. Now you know how to make your own gorgeous Kahlua caramels. Thank you for watching my video. If you enjoyed it, then please hit subscribe and then you'll be notified if I do any more.